Brown versus Board was a Supreme Court case that ended segregation in schools. Every day, people send their children to school relying on the fact that our education system will help form our children into bright, intelligent, successful individuals. However, racial bias has clouded people's judgment on students' image, intelligence, abilities, and much more. Racial bias has caused a problem with underrepresented people, especially in the education system. Although underrepresented people have come a long way from racial discrimination in schools, there is still a continuing issue with student-teacher interaction that affects not only a student's performance, but their trust with people from certain races. I have had teachers be racially biased towards me. In middle school, I had a teacher who segregated the Spanish students in our class, and we would sit in like a bundle in the corner, all of us together. And I remember there was a day we were watching a movie about drug smuggling and the drug cartel within the country, and she basically gestured at all the students, and she would speak about how rather than we were putting in an effort into helping the country, we were taking people's jobs and we were causing crime and havoc all across the country. And that was the day I was most disrespected and hurt in my entire life so far. I stopped going to class. I didn't want to keep trying. Why would I try? I thought to myself, if my own teachers didn't believe in me, if I didn't have somebody stick up for me. And I experienced similar things in high school. I've had teachers give inappropriate comments about my race, or they would have a topic in class and they would speak about my race in a negative manner that I didn't really appreciate, yet nobody would stand up for me or nobody would say anything about it, and they weren't told anything. So I just stopped trying and I stopped going to class, and it affected my grades because I didn't want to try anymore. And it came down to a day where I sat down with my mom and she was explaining how people need to be proven wrong, and it's the effort that I need to put in to prove people wrong, that their stereotypes on Spanish people might be wrong. And so I went and I gave 200%, and I excelled more so I can show people that their idea of what people are based off their race is wrong, and that there's so much more to a person than just where they're from.
Racially discriminated back in high school, I learned that I have to try harder than most people. Personally, it was my first experience because he always questioned my work ethic. He never gave me the time of day, and he was an online professor. He never met me. However, once he found out exactly what I looked like and things like that, it just was a downturn from there. So I got my first C in high school from that professor, and I didn't think it was unfair, but at the time, he's the only professor who teaches that online course, so there was nothing I could really do about it. However, it was up from there. I still graduated with a 4.2 GPA in high school, made it honors, and I'm about to graduate with honors in college, so.
Ready. Okay. Well, my name is Quadir Miller, and I'm here to talk about my racial experience in school. So in middle school, we had this racist teacher. I don't remember her name, but we swore up she was racist, and she told us she wasn't. She literally had the class segregated. She had all the white people on one side and all the black people on the other. And, at first I didn't really think much about it, but whenever, I asked her a question, she'd be all snarky and mean about it. Whenever one of the white kids would walk up, not racist, when the white people would walk up and ask her a question, she'd be all nice. It's like she was fake. So then one day we finally called her out, and we even got the principal to come make a little surprise visit and sit in the back of class, and she didn't know. So then when we finally showed him what she was like, she got fired the next day.
Yes, I have faced racial bias from so-called friends and other people relating this and stuff when it comes down to it all. I had a Caucasian friend whose name was Morgan. We went to school. We was friends for junior and senior year. And her mother, I met her mother I meet her mother first 2 times we hanged out. But when I finally met her mother, I figured out her mother was very racist, and she was also a kindergarten she was an elementary school teacher. And she wouldn't let me hang out with her after she met me. And she wouldn't allow us to do anything together. Even she wouldn't allow me to allow her to sit with me at all. And when I first met her, she wouldn't even shake my hand. She just grabbed her Morgan and just dragged her away. and I felt like dirt, and it was hurtful. And it's really sad that people are just so ignorant and judge people just by the color of their skin.
As a pre-K teacher, I see so many children with so many different cultures, ethnicities, and personalities. All these children enter school only knowing what their family and culture has taught them. Having teachers like me and my fellow co-workers take this training would be a great idea and benefit to us. In my class, there's children from Guatemala, Venezuela, Bangladesh, Mexico, Saudi Arabia, Morocco, Egypt. It would be great and it would be helpful to connect with them if this training was offered. I am 100% on board if this was a training that would be mandatory.
Racial bias has clouded people's judgment, and teachers shouldn't be biased towards students, whether they're children, young adults, or grown people. When you apply to be a teacher, racial bias should be thrown out the window, and teachers shouldn't be biased towards students, whether they're children, young adult, or grown people. When you apply, your task is to guide students and help them become better individuals. It's something great in life. Race shouldn't be the main focus. Our students are the future of the world, and it is teachers' duty to help guide them, and that can't be done with racial bias in a way. It's preventing students from performing well. It's not helping them. It's helping them fight harder, but why should one student fight 2 to 3 times harder than the other for getting to the exact same place in their life for the future?